Hey, folks, welcome to this week's episode of the Paddle Talk Podcast. Great to have you along. We've got a great show this week. We've got Kyle and Brody on from Silverback Offroad Speedway. We're talking the R3 Spring Shootout, as well as a little Texas Mud Drags very early on preview for the Texas Mud Drags race coming up there in June, which happens to be Texas Mud Drags' first race of the season at this point. Be a great show. Also, we have Derek Howard from Atoka Motorsports Park on giving us a recap of their last two races and a look ahead at their biggest race of the year, the Heartland Nationals, coming up here before too long. Then we're also joined by Hell Horse Racing and Carson Holmes and his family and their new world record they just set not long ago, and his family operation and everything else. So great to have them. Got Billy Teeters in the house tonight, along with Dave Applegate. Like I said, Kyle and Brody join us as well. Caleb Mings taking a well-deserved week off as they are expecting the birth of their first child. By the time you watch this, she could be here even. So congratulations to them. Really excited. And hopefully everything is going well by the time you watch this. So really great show for you this week. And Billy's got something to show off as well. But remember, this episode, just like every episode, brought to you by our friends at Racing in the Dirt from Cleveland, Wisconsin, with over 50 years worth of experience in sand, dirt, and mud drag racing. Let them help you take your race program to places it's never been before. So give them a call. Area code 952 690 2000, or find them on Facebook, or find them on racinginthedirt.com. That's Racing in the Dirt. All right, Billy. You gonna let her make her debut now, or what are you doing here?
Oh, we couldn't because you said something about Caleb, and that made me remember that. Oh yeah, Caleb and his wife are having a baby. The baby's probably born by the time y'all listen to this episode. And first of all, it's glad to be back. It's been a little while for me. And one of the reasons I had to miss for so long was one is we have a very long winter and spring football season, but another reason is we had to introduce another member of World Sand Drag News. This is our new little baby. This is Miss Lula Ann Teeters. She'll be 2 weeks old on Friday. And she's the most precious goddamn thing on this planet.
And at 2 weeks, she has better control of Billy's mini bike than Damien Bowers.
Yes, yeah. And honestly, day one, she hopped on it. She was a pro. Wheelie down the street and everything. Made her old man proud.
Oh, my word.
Yeah,
Oh, well, hey, congratulations to you and to Shelby, because we all know you're just the face. She did all the work. Let's face it. I mean, come on, dude.
Honestly, yeah. People try to say, "Hey, you did something too." I'm like, no, dude. Like, I didn't carry anything in my body for 9 months, and it just happened to be this beautiful thing right here. 9 pounds, 13 ounces when she was born. She was a big one, and
I love
yeah, man, yeah, wouldn't trade it for the world. Would not.
nothing like it.
Really not. Yeah. I was gonna say something. I forgot what it was, but let's go ahead and let's do this thing.
Let's get to it, man. So we've got great stuff coming up. We also have a preview of this weekend's race. No matter when you're watching this weekend's race, the Copper State Shootout down at Dome Valley Raceway in Welton, Arizona, as well as the Spring Nationals race at Northern California's own Avenal Speedway. So pretty, even though they're both kind of West Coast tracks, both having a race the same weekend, and got a little preview action of those two going. So
yeah, those are going to be both of them are going to be exciting time. Avenal's doing a really good job of letting you know who's showing up to their races as of recently on their Facebook page. Looks like they're going to have a really good turnout of racers in general. I've seen the ATVs are going back, so we can stop giving them so much shit for that probably now. And it's going to be fun to see how they do on the same weekend as Dome. I know Dome's still looking like they're gonna have a pretty decent turnout as well, especially in the heads up categories and whatnot. But yeah, everything's gonna look good. Avenal, I don't know. There's Avenal and Dome had like I don't know. You guys probably already talked about it, but scheduling on the same weekend, and there's like some social media bickering back and forth. You can tell if you're looking at certain posts, and it's just I don't know. I don't know. They're like 6.5 hours apart, 7 hours apart, something like that. So I think it's weird, but at the same time, I think it would be okay. I don't think it's dramatic or anything, or drastic, I should say.
I would agree. I think it's going to be interesting what cars go where. Now we talked on our last episode about Avenal has some added money for the 295 guys, so that should be kind of interesting. See if that draws some guys that maybe weren't thinking about going to Avenal originally. If that kind of changes their plans and heads them up there. The ATV guys being back on track at Avenal, I think, really kind of throws the unknown into this. California ATV guys, I'm just going to say it. You get a chance here to really, really make an impression being back on the track here that you haven't been for a little while. I would really encourage you, support this race, make these ATV classes big, because this is how you will continue to be on everybody's radar as far as at these bigger races like this. So hopefully see a really good turnout of ATVs in at Avenal, and you know, the guys that show up at Dome for ATV, I mean, they're usually pretty decently strong as far as class numbers and stuff like that. So it should be a really, really interesting weekend. Maybe part of it will be who goes where, so to speak. I mean, could we see a name we weren't expecting show up at either track? It's possible. I think it's gonna be interesting to see which way the Vegas guys go. They seem very non-committal at this point. Now, remember, we are taping this early on in the week, so obviously things are firming up as things happen. But I haven't really seen, at least to my knowledge, I haven't really seen any of them commit 100%. This is where we're headed yet. So, which makes me think they may still be weighing which way they're going to go, so to speak. So,
Well, if the Vegas Knights are still in the playoffs, Mark Punos ain't going anywhere. He's going to stay there
also
and watch
true.
them play some hockey. I'm just kidding, but not. This is kind of weird that we're talking about it. Kind of like in a sport that kind of still needs some help. And we're talking about something like the problem with scheduling on top of each other when you're only like 6.5 hours apart. But this is just like you could see these as like regular points races almost, but you almost don't, because the West Coast doesn't race as much as we do out here out east. So even when Dome Valley they got like 3-4 races this year,
Yeah.
maybe 5, and then Avenal only has 2. So like you look at these as like these are 2 pretty big events. It's weird they're happening at the same time, and you just wonder what classes get the hit at. Like who's going to suffer most from this at which track. And I hope it doesn't happen. I hope nobody takes a hit, first of all, but it's just weird that I don't know. It's just weird that we are seeing this happen, because I'm curious where the hit's taken. Like, is somebody going to be missing out on bracket cars? Because it doesn't really look like it, but I can see a bunch of people. I just see a bunch of people going to Avenal for the nostalgic factor of it, I guess, if you want to say, or it's just what they're used to, or blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, I really like what Dome Valley's doing. So,
No, I would agree with you there, and I hope it doesn't. I hope it doesn't turn into 2 kind of watered down races, so to speak. I kind of hope there's a good balance there, and we see 2 really good races come up this weekend. But it's funny you say that, Billy. We were just kind of going over last night, kind of going over our personal family racing calendar. You're talking six races, okay, between Arizona and
Avenal.
Avenal, Northern California there. I think as a family, we're going to 7 in the month of July. So,
Dude,
so
I might be going to 7 total this year. So it's
it's kind of very interesting that you got such a limited amount, but somehow they still ended up on the same date, here in April. So, and kind of hoping this doesn't pan out again come next year, that maybe somebody can give a little and figure out a alternate weekend, so to speak.
Right, and that's what I've been saying is like, they don't race very often out in the West Coast, so like the fact that they get, that people keep their sand drag vehicles is remarkable, and they get their turnouts is remarkable because they just don't race that often. So whenever they schedule on top of each other, it's just I don't know. It's just weird. Red flags, I guess you could say, but I mean, if you look at the stuff online, not saying any names, but you could say um Dome had their schedule out first, and then Avenal posted their schedule, and I believe it's the same weekend they always race in April, so
Yeah.
it didn't really change anything. But Dome Valley had the schedule out first, so like, I don't know. What do you do? I don't know.
Yeah. I'm glad I'm not in the position to have to, make a decision, where we're going or something like that, because that would be, um, a little difficult there, and I
Well,
get it.
people definitely talking. There's certain groups are going where, so
Yeah.
you know, talking's definitely happened. I don't know. I just hope for good turnouts in general for those because I don't know. I like going to both tracks, and side note about Avenal, they put up their giant American flag today, which I always love seeing that.
I saw that, and that really is awesome. And shout out to Avenal too, as they got, what was that, 2-3 weeks ago now, had a bunch of the copper wire stolen, that
Yeah, yeah,
runs
yeah.
everything there, and got it put back together and got it squared away, in pretty short order. And I tell you what, that's awesome, because I know some of the racers pitched in to get that done. And shout out to those guys and whoever was involved in getting that back together. That's really awesome. And I tell you what, that's the kind of thing we like to see, right? I mean, take care of your hometown track, because let's face it, folks, if you don't take care of your hometown track, maybe you won't have a hometown track uh,
That's facts.
at some point.
That
So,
is facts. Did you see Avenal has hats?
no, I did not.
They
Really?
did, yeah, I seen they just posted it a day ago, and it said more swag for the big race. They shared. I'm guessing it's the company that made the hat. Yeah,
Oh yeah,
I need one of those,
I saw the shirts. The shirts look pretty good too. So,
dude. I need one of those hats.
all right, well,
Every racetrack should sell hats, just like the ones Avenal posted, because those are dope.
I'd agree. They look pretty sweet.
And I like snapbacks, so.
See, I'm more of a fitted guy, but that's okay.
Is it because you're bald?
Oh, dude, really?
What? What?
What are you laughing about there, Applegate?
Dave's just chilling in the back working on shit. We're listening to us talk.
He is totally too. So,
Oh man. Well, I got a question for you about
yeah,
these races. I'll start with Avenal. Um, what are you excited about for Avenal?
you know what? They always seem to draw a bunch of cool trucks. All right, let's face it. I mean, California, for whatever reason, has these awesome square bodies and even older Ford pickups and really cool door slammer trucks that always seem to make it out there. And I enjoy seeing that. Enjoy seeing those guys do some racing, and stuff. Um, Interesting is I saw Mr. Kenny Hayes is making the tow from Arizona, coming all the way to Avenal.
I actually did see that as well. I wonder if that's one of those like Avenal nostalgic things. You know what I
Well,
mean?
I was gonna say Kenny always goes there, so that I guess it's not that surprising,
Right.
And I believe the Adamsons will also be at Avenal, and that's where Kenny usually hangs with those guys. I mean,
Right.
Jeep guys kind of tend to stay together a little bit, so
You were talking
um,
about full body trucks, and I was gonna say, oh, they should run a pro truck class out there, but they kind of do. They do that quick eight full body truck class, which I don't know the full rules and specifics of it, but I know there's a badass Chevy Apache out there that would fit very nicely in that class. Wait,
Adam Ross,
Adam
that thing
Ross.
is awesome. Haven't seen that thing in person, and that was a while ago, but it is very, very cool, and it's pretty sweet. So, um, yeah, but they've got some bad hot rods out there as far as trucks and stuff goes. Um, So looking forward to it.
So what are you looking forward to from Dome Valley then?
From Dome, I believe Schultzman is going to have his car out this weekend.
Yeah, I saw him post it
So
just
hopefully he's
today.
got that ironed out a little bit more. I think that thing is on the verge of running some big numbers. Mr. Nick Janik, I believe, helping out with the clutch setup in that deal. So that should be pretty interesting to see kind of how all that pans out, and see what the miners are up to. Mr. Cottrell shoeing that deal, and we'll
I
see what
seen
happens.
Brock's going.
What's that?
Mike Brock taking the purple unicorn out there, which
Yeah, that's
used to
true. I saw
be
that as well.
used
So
to be Vicky Hall's farmer's daughter. I don't know how many people listening to this actually know the names we're naming, but West Coast stuff. But yeah. Um, I think Dome's going to be interesting because I just think Dome's off the track is just a little better than Avenal. I don't think it's much better, but just a little better. And I think we're going to see some numbers ran at Dome if they get it put down, especially Schultzman. When I see him post the car, it looks cool with the body on it.
yeah,
The black wheels look way better than the chrome wheels do, so he's got that going for him also. And I wonder where Zavala is going to go. I know Tommy Zavala has been real active with going to Mexico and racing in the early part of this season so far. So I'm curious to see where he goes, but I would imagine he's going to stay in his own backyard. Uh, I want to
I
see that altered.
I was gonna say, will we see Project X make an appearance, or will be all dragster all the time this weekend?
I don't know. I do
That
not know.
would kind of be an interesting one as well. So last I saw, they were doing some wiring on the altered there. So you might get up close and personal with that thing at the Heartland Nationals. So
Yeah, that'd be fun. I would
that'd
love
be
to.
awesome, man. I
Take
think
an
that's a
awesome
very
video.
cool car. I loved that car with the body on it. That thing
Yeah.
looks killer.
Yeah, narrow alters look. I don't know. They almost scare me, but they look sick. That one looks sick. So,
Yeah, no, I
but
agree.
yeah, Dome and Alvinal looks like it's going to be a blast. This we won't have anybody there for obvious reasons. Caleb and his wife are having a baby. May have already had the baby. I don't know by this point. Maybe the baby will be born by tomorrow because we're recording this on Wednesday. But yeah, unfortunate about that, but we'll make up for it with races later on. So
Yeah, just one of those things that happens. I mean, hey, we can't be everywhere at once, and and let's face it, uh, we don't have an unlimited budget to just send people all over creation to do it. So,
not
uh,
yet.
not yet.
But not yet.
Someday,
We're working on it though.
someday. It's
Um,
part of my retirement plan. So,
yes, Isaac's retirement plan involves sending us to different races to cover them.
that's right.
Yes, I like it. I like it. Texas Mud Drags added some money somewhere, didn't
Yes.
they?
Yep. Yep. Exactly.
Where
So,
is that at?
that is. Hold on a second. Give me just a moment.
Well, while you do that, I'm going to go ahead and plug our race at Shelton's Dirt Drags, the Bluegrass Shootout, presented by World Sand Drag News and Southern Power Sports Drag Racing Series. Our boy Dave is joining us here with us, and we want to give a quick shout out to Team Colt Racing and National Junior Dirt Drags for helping us with the plaques at this race, as well as SPDRS. And 3-day event, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Um, List of classes. We got 50/50 in sportsman classes. 50/50 is just another sportsman class. 50/50 classes on Friday. Sportsman classes on Saturday. We have cars and ATVs running. Quick 16 cars, just basically your quickest bracket cars on the property racing on Friday night. Quick 16 ATVs, same thing. Pro ATV, pro comp. We have index classes, the 395 index, the 350 index, and the always infamous 295 index, probably the hottest class in the sport right now. 295 challenge on Friday, off the trailer, 295 index racing. And then we have the 4 Southern Power Sports drag racing classes: 4x4 ATV Outlaw, 4x4 ATV Pro Mod, side by side Outlaw, and side by side Pro Mod. Those are going to be awesome as well. Any vehicle with a roll cage and power sports engine are eligible to run in both car and ATV classes. they are not allowed to run in the 4x4 ATV classes. So if you got side-by-side junior dragster, mini buggy, mini dragster, you are welcome to run in any of the classes except for the 4x4 ATV classes. So yeah. And then all right, where are we at? Texas Mud Drags.
Yeah. So $2,000 added money on top of all the entry money for the Texas Mud Drag stuff. I mean, those things are going to pay really well. I don't know how far back they're paying. If it's just like through fourth or something else, that I don't know. But it's double elimination. So I mean, you at least get. I mean, at the very least, you're going to get 2 hits at the track, not counting any kind of test and tune or anything else, and you got a chance to get into the money. I mean, that seems like it's a pretty good deal, and seems like it ought to draw a lot of people. Like we said earlier, I think they're up to like 15 or 16 cars in that door slammer class, which that is going to be something crazy. I feel like. I mean, good grief, you got everything from Dave Kramer and that nitrous small block super toy truck, all the way to Todd Bilesma and the Wine Time Jeep. I mean, it's such very different combinations going to run there, and should be really, really interesting. I see Scott Vogel with that twin turbo truck also going to run small block power adder, which that ought to be really interesting as well. As that truck, I believe he is putting a little more juice to it this year, and should be very interesting. That truck's been, I believe, 360s already, so he's looking to chop some time off of that. You got Kramer for small block power adder. I believe Willie Bursley is going to try to sneak into small block power adder with his Jeep, even, which that truck's been, I think, low. I know it's been maybe into the 40s, maybe even quicker than that, as far as I know. So, I mean, you got guys like Earl Lettner, kind of some of the usual suspects for Pro Truck Elite, making their way for that door slammer class. So that's going to be a really, really good race. And I plan on being on site all weekend up there for that race coming up in June. So really excited.
Are you announcing at it?
What's that?
Are you announcing it?
I am. Yes.
Oh,
yep.
okay.
So I'll be on site to get what I can, announcing, and hopefully have some help. I've heard K-Dub's possibly coming up as well, so hopefully that means we can get some live stream stuff going both Friday and Saturday, and keep everybody informed of the situation. So, and really took a turn when this race turned into the Texas Mud Drag season opener. That was kind of a shift, and kind of changes things quite a bit, because now I think you got a lot more guys thinking, hey man, if I can make even a couple of races close to home, I got a pretty good chance at the points at this point, because I don't have to make all 5 races. Now you're down to what, maybe 4, 3, depending on how things go. So should be really interesting. Should be a really, really good turnout too. So.
Well, I'm excited for it, especially when there's added money involved. I'm totally excited for it. So, yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
Texas Mud Drag season opener, June 13th through 15th, I think.
Yeah.
I just had
it. I think the 15th is kind of a,
that's your camping day, basically.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. And just in case they run out of time Saturday night, but I know in talks with Kyle and with Brody just a little bit, Brody assured me that they are going to keep to a program of getting it done on Saturday night. So, keep things moving and really, put on a good show for the fans. So,
yeah, those Texas Mud Drag guys like to run late, but they ain't going to be able to do that at Silverback. That's for sure.
No.
I do want to quick mention, because you guys weren't there for it, when we talked to Derek Howard, you guys listening will hear in just a little bit. He mentioned how they have $7,000 added money for the top eliminator class at their Heartland Nationals Memorial Day weekend, which I will be at, so you guys will be able to watch that race. He said if there's 15 top eliminator cars, because the 100% payback's going back in it too, so that's $200 per head for the entry fee. If there's 15 cars, then first place will walk away with $7,000.
Wow, that's a heck of a payout.
But he also, you guys will hear it, they're expecting anywhere from 15 to 22 top eliminator cars right now for that event. So it's gonna be awesome for sure.
That should be That should be. Yeah, absolutely. I'm guessing you'll see some top preliminary guys from Michigan and Indiana making the trip out there. I mean, that's one thing. Memorial Day is not a huge, used to be a really big race weekend here in Michigan. Not so much anymore. Not as much as it was, when I first started racing type of thing. So I wouldn't be a bit surprised to see some of the guys, especially looking to run their car out a little bit, making their way out there. So
If they're willing to travel after going to the outlaw race a week or two before, then yes, I would agree.
That's true, and that is kind of an unknown there, right? What does that look like? So
yeah, and the Pro 1 cars class in Atoka has looked really good so far. I think they're averaging like 25, 26 in the class, which is 450 and faster on a Pro Tree staggered start. So basically your outlaw 450 class, So it's yeah, that class is looking pretty good and it's growing. So it's funny whenever we talk about growing the sport, you see people usually start with ATVs and stuff like that. But whenever you see a track's most popular class is the Pro 1 cars class. It's pretty awesome to see that as well. So I'm excited to get to Atoka, but I'm sure everybody else is ready to get to do some racing of their own too. So
yeah, for sure. I think everybody's in the same boat right now of just wanting to get on track and start making things, making some hits and, getting some more track time. So looking forward to it. And at least around here, the weather's starting to cooperate as well. So should be a great, great season coming up.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
That sounds good. Let's do it. All right. And with that, we're going to roll right into our discussion on the R3 Spring Shootout with Kyle and Brody from Silverback Offroad Speedway. So that is also brought to you by our friends at Racing in the Dirt. Racing in the Dirt is your one-stop shop for all things dirt, sand, and mud racing related. Give them a call today. Area code 920-693-2000. That's area code 920-693-2000. Racing in the Dirt. Hey everyone, welcome back to the next segment of this episode of Paddle Talk. Great to have you along. We've got Billy Teeters in the house tonight, along with Kyle and Brody from Silverback Offroad Speedway. Gentlemen, we are talking all things R3 Spring Showdown, which is coming up this weekend. So if you're watching this, no matter when you're watching it this week, it's coming up this weekend. Even if you can't get out to race yourself, be a great time to spectate. So let's talk about it. Guys, what do we got in store? First, I should say, welcome to the show. And second, what do we got in store for this weekend? We got pit bikes. We've got full-size vehicles. We got side-by-sides. I mean, is there something almost for everybody that wants to run?
There's something for everyone there. Biggest thing this weekend, it's free spectators. Last year we had over 5,000 people at the track for our fall one that we did. So we have test and tune starting first thing off on Saturday. Actually, we have some going on Friday too. And Saturday we have an open test tune from 10 to 2. And then they're doing a little meet and greet type thing with Nick and Frankie from R3, Race, Rebuild, Repeat. From there, they're doing a short course race. So they have 2 classes this year. They're doing a turboed and non-turboed class. It starts off at the front of the drag strip, goes through the woods all around, and then ends right back at the hill climb hill.
And we've added more to it this year too to make it a little different than last year. We like to change it up every year so that it's a little different, make it a little more challenging, and add obstacles, which is always fun for us and for the racers.
Then after the short course is all finished up, we're going into some quick 16 classes. So we have an open quick 16. There's possibly going to be a truck one, which is supposed to be for diesels. That depends on how many show up. And then we have a quick 16 side-by-side class. And then we also have an open bracket class.
Wow. And there's some pit bike racing, right?
Yeah. And then there's pit bike racing at the end.
I feel like putting the pit bikes at the end is probably a good idea.
It's a little quieter at the end of the night, so it makes the neighbors a little happier.
I feel that's a very mature decision to take there. I'm impressed, guys. That sounds really good. So, all All right. So what else? Now you guys did this last year. Did it once in the spring, once in the fall? Is that kind of how it worked out?
Yep. We had just the fall one last year.
Just the fall one last year. Okay. And you said turnout was really good.
Yep. Turnout was huge. Like I said, we had over 5,000 people. We had on Saturday almost 3,000 passes go down the track.
Wow. That's crazy. That's really cool though, man. So if somebody shows up on, say, Friday night, can they stay over till Saturday at the track?
Yep.
Type of deal?
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
Cool. And free spectators. Will the concession stand be open?
Yes, there will be.
All right. All right. This is all very good. So really, folks, if you want to see some drag racing, if you want to see some short course stuff, which is very cool, and you even want to end your night with a little bit of, pit bike / disaster racing, you can go for free and see all that. And then if you want to drag your race car out, you can get some test hits in for the weekend. I mean, is that pretty much what's going on there, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much. All right. And did I hear possibly we're breaking in a new staging lanes guy this weekend as well?
Yeah. Hayden Willis will be coming back to stage all the cars for us. So.
All right. Sweet. And that's going to free Brody up to just gallivant around on the electric bike whenever he feels like it, or what's going on?
Maybe I could just jump in a few race cars here and there, bounce around a little more.
I love it, man. I love it. Billy Teeters, do you have a question?
I do have a question. First of all, Kyle and Brody, thank you for joining us on the Paddle Talk podcast. I know you guys are stoked for this season opener. You always have a great track at Silverback, great venue, great facility. You always do great with the Outlaw race. And I just want to know, how stoked are you guys to have Texas Mud Drags this year? It's going to be your first, well, it'll be actually their first race of the season at your guys' track. How are you guys feeling about having that series come in?
Pretty excited.
Yeah. It'll be cool to watch the 200 feet racing and see all the new cars, and hopefully that brings them to more of our events too. So.
Yeah, I've seen the post they made recently of just the cars and trucks that are confirmed for whichever classes. It looks like it's going to be a huge event. It looks like it's going to be a great time.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be pretty big, and there's going to be a lot of fast cars, and it'd be kind of cool to see what some of these cars on Test and Tune Friday night running 300 feet as well as the 200 foot, Be interesting.
Yes. Well, I'll be stoked for that. Ready for those live feeds. Okay, that's all I had, Isaac.
That's all good. I actually had a question that I was going to ask the guys. Nice lead in there, Billy. I appreciate that. Friday night of the Texas Mud Drags, there is an open class and an open bracket class. Is that going to be 300 foot or 200 foot?
200 foot.
200?
Yep, 200.
So everything is 200 foot.
Yep.
Awesome. I like it. So what that means is, if you're not very good on the tree and you're used to driving around people, that may not work out so well for that weekend. Just throwing that one out there. So I'm excited. I'm super stoked. I think that Friday night could absolutely be a banger, just because you've got the open bracket guys and you've got a true open class. Run what you brung, put up or shut up. Drag it into the lanes and let's get after it. I think it could be very, very crazy. And I think it could be a really, really good thing. So I'm really looking forward to it. And heck, I mean, it's the middle of June, so finally maybe we'll get some decently warm weather for a good stretch.
I'm really excited to see the four-wheel drive buggy dragster things too. See how they do in sand, and it'll be my first time ever seeing those in real life. So.
I think what's going to be very interesting is this track is very different, I think, from what they are used to. And it'll be interesting to see what guys are able to do as far as suspension changes as they need to, getting a little maybe less aggressive with the 4-link than what they're used to and that sort of thing. So I think the test into could be almost as interesting as the actual racing on Friday night.
Sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
So looking forward to it. And it sounds like that open class on Friday night and the door slammer class coming up on Saturday absolutely are stacked. I think they're at 14 or 15 trucks for that door slammer class, possibly up to 20 is what they're shooting for. That could be huge.
Huge.
especially being double elimination. So
absolutely, yeah, and that just throws another wrinkle in there. So, all right, guys, before we'll be back with a special segment on that once we get closer. But anything you guys want to say about this weekend's race, the R3 Spring Showdown, before we get there?
if you guys have never been there, you need to come out. It's a huge party all weekend. You get to see a lot of cool things. A lot of fast things are on their way to come to the event. So there's a lot of things if you've never been before, I would definitely recommend being there.
And if you're lucky, you'll see something roll over, crash on the short course. Those are always fun to watch.
I was gonna say, I mean, hey, come on, you get good drag racing, short course racing, and some pit bike action, and it's for free if you're a spectator. And the concession stand will be open. I mean,
yeah, in the pit bike racing, you get to see a ton of crashing.
There you go. See, I don't think we get any better than that. All right. Hey, guys, thanks for joining us tonight. We really appreciate you giving up some of your time to talk about this race. And we'll definitely check back in before the Texas Mud Drags race and get a little better feel for it. So thanks again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so Kyle and Brody appearing tonight, courtesy of Racing in the Dirt in Cleveland, Wisconsin, your one-stop shop for everything to make your 2025 race season memorable. From dirt, sand, mud, they have over 50 years of experience getting cars down the track. Everything from turnkey builds to bolt-ons, you name it, ready to go and ready for your race season. So give them a call today. Area code 952. I screwed that up, I think. Yeah. I don't know why either.
Just started from the phone number.
All right. Area code 920-693-2000. Or you can find them on their Facebook page at Racing in the Dirt or racinginthedirt.com. Ready to ship to you as quickly as next day air, ready to keep you moving on the right way. So give them a call, Facebook, or find them on their website, Racing in the Dirt. And like I said, they UPS daily.
Derek Howard of Atoka Motorsports Park is brought to you by our race at Shelton's Dirt Drags, May 29th, 30th, and 31st. It's a Thursday, Friday, Saturday event. Thursday, all-day test and tune. We'll have racing Friday and Saturday. Friday, we're doing something really cool, the 295 challenge, where it's off the trailer, 295 index racing, and it will also count as their qualifying passes for the show on Saturday. And then we got plenty of classes. Test and tune is Thursday. Friday was a half day of test and tune. Then we got the 295 challenge, side-by-side outlaw, 4x4 ATV outlaw, 50-50 classes, quick 16 classes for cars and ATVs, and 50-50 is just a sportsman bracket class, basically. Saturday, we got kids classes, more sportsman classes, a sport ATV class, index classes, pro classes, and more 4x4 ATV classes, more side-by-side outlaw classes, and it's going to be a hell of a good time. 295 index is always going to be a huge time there. People run their fastest passes at Shelton's. That is a fact. And you can join us there May 29th, 30th, and 31st. I'm going to give a shout out to the guys who help us make it happen. First of all, Southern Power Sports Drag Racing Series, Team Cole Racing, and National Junior Dirt Drags, and of course, us at World Sand Drag News. And we want to give a shout out to James Shelton's. And join us that weekend, May 29th, 30th, and 31st. We're going to be live streaming a bunch that weekend. Back to another segment of Paddle Talk. We are going to talk about Atoka Motorsports Park. They've had 2 races so far this season, and they got some big ones coming up. We're with Derek Howard, the promoter at Atoka Motorsports Park. And Derek, how's it going, man?
It's going quite well. How are you?
I'm doing well. My life's been a little busy, but we'll get into that a little later. And or you probably heard it in the intro, but so you guys ran 2 races so far this year. How they went? How's everything been going?
The first one was postponed a week due to weather, but it didn't really seem like it messed up too bad. 25, 26 Pro 1 cars on the property. The other classes were about average from last year. Roughly 10 Pro 2 cars, 8 probably in the Pro 1 quads, 8 in the Pro 2 quads, and probably 8 in the Pro 3 quads. I don't have the counts right in front of me. Juniors were a little low at 4, and I think 16 Pee-wees, but for an off weekend, spring break, not a bad turnout, especially in Pro 1 cars with 25 entries.
Yeah, 25 entries in Pro 1 cars. You can't really complain about that. That's probably your guys' hottest class so far of these last
Yes,
couple seasons. And
definitely.
you guys do a money and trophy class of every class you run, just for those who have forgotten. So you guys had to postpone the rates in March, and then you're able to run everything just fine in April, I'm assuming.
Yes, April, the weather was basically perfect for April, even a race weekend, 75, 80 degrees, not much wind. You couldn't ask for a better day of racing.
Absolutely. You got your winners from that April race in front of you? Let's go over
Yes,
those real quick.
okay. We'll
We'll,
start off with the Pro 1 cars.
okay.
Um, Starting us off, since we did the trophy first, Derek Holman from Harper, Texas, that Brad Silver's old altered Jeep, took the win over another Texas, Daniel Baker from Bonham. So that was your first and second. And then go ahead and move to the money class. Old Brad Silvers took the win. And the second was JT Hosteen. Those two battled the last couple years for first and second in the points. And third was Derek Holman again. He got the semifinals. So there's your first, second, third in the Pro 1 cars.
Well, Brad Civils, that's his second win of the year, is it not?
It is. He took the win in March and took another win in April. If I counted correctly, that's 10 straight round wins in the money class. I believe he's already got a 30-point lead in the points. It almost missed a race.
Oh my God. I need to rethink my top 5 list here a little bit. Brad Civils making a name for himself.
Yeah.
What else do you got?
Pro 1 quads. We'll get them. That's next on my list. Trophy. Another one of them Civil guys. Dylan Civils took the win in the trophy over
Mm,
Randy Kimbley.
that's Brad's son, Dylan.
Yes. And then moving on to the money. Roy Cooper, longtime racer veteran of the Atoka Motorsports Park, got the win over Stephanie Kimbley.
Yeah, Stephanie Kimbley going down a race at Atoka this season. She joined you guys in March, did she not?
She did. She's planning to make every race as long as everything goes well for her. That's her plan to run our full schedule, and I think she is going to hit some of y'all's guys' races. So maybe doing double duty when she can.
Oh, well, cool. Well, good for her. Good for her. And then, yeah, Randy getting second place in the trophy class in Pro 1 quads as well. And I assume you got Pro 2 quads. Is that next up on your list, or Pro 2 cars?
Uh, Quads.
Okay.
Somehow we got out of order, but yes. Pro 2 quads trophy. Nevaeh Merkel took the win over Stephanie Smithhart. For Nevaeh, if nobody really knows her, if you don't know her, she took a year off to have a kid, came back, missed the March race, got the win in the trophy. She's only going to be able to run the trophy class. With having a baby, as you just know, she can't be out there all day and all night. So she's planning just to run the trophy classes as much as possible, and came back and took a win.
Yeah, well, good for her.
And Pro 2 money. There's that Roy Cooper again, taking another win over Bryce Williams. Bryce he sold his Pro 1 quad. He didn't have the Pro 2 car ready. So he ran a Pro 2 quad and got a second on it.
And there you go. That's all you need. And I gotta say real quick, Nevaeh, I am about to kind of understand what you're going through. Me and my wife just had a baby, so we'll kind of figure out what you guys are going through as well. So
And then next on my list is the Pro 2 cars. Trophy class. The winner was Kason Schull you remember that name last year, he was in the juniors in the Jeep,
Yeah.
won the championship, had aged out, had to move to Pro 2 cars.
Is
Took
he
the
still
win
in the
over-
Jeep?
He still is.
He's still in the Jeep. Okay, good. If he started racing a dragster or something, I would have vetoed that.
That is in the plans. They have several dragsters. They just don't have them ready. So, but one day he's going to move up to dragsters. They're
No,
talking.
he's got to race a Jeep the rest of his life. That's just it has to happen at this point.
He took out Jessica Powell in the final of that trophy class. So, congratulations to Kaysen getting his first Pro 2 car win.
Yeah, that's your driver, old Jessica, right there.
Yep, that's one of my drivers. Yes.
One of them. Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, good deal to those winners in there. Where are we going next? What class we got next? I know we got a few left.
Pro 2 cars, the money class, first time winner, Blake Johnson. He has a black S10 pickup.
Yeah.
He did run some quad classes before, but if I understood him correctly, this is his first win at Atoka Motorsports Park.
Oh,
and
well,
he
good
was
for Blake.
definitely excited, very happy. He got that win and took out one of the best in the business, John Acker. You know something about John Acker because he was on your top 5 list as number 1.
I know. Yeah, I had him as number 1. John, you're failing me, man. What is this? What's going on? Come on, Mr. Acker. We got it. Those aren't the expectations of Team Texas now. Let's go.
Well, maybe because he was in Pro 2. Maybe that's.
Oh, that's it. Okay, yeah, yeah.
Well, actually, he was doing triple duty, so Pro 1, Pro 2, and Pro 3 quads. So
He was in Pro 3 quads?
He did run Pro 3 quads.
What? That's so crazy. Okay.
I guess he needed something to do.
Yeah, and no worries. Yeah. What else you got?
That's where we're going next. Pro 3 quads. Let's just start off with John Acker since he won the money.
He won the money in Pro 3 quads?
He did.
Okay. All right. Well, that's the reason why he's number 1 on the list. There you go.
He defeated Cheyenne Williams, Bryce Williams' wife, who started. Well, she ran all of last year, but really got to know her at Fall Fest. Battle of the Belt races, going to final rounds, getting her first win. Starts this season off with I think she's been out of 3 of the 4 finals.
Oh, wow.
Between money and trophy and Pro 3 quads. So she's doing some rounds. She did take the points lead. So she is very excited. She wants a championship. So, just like her husband. So she can have bragging rights as well. Shout out to Cheyenne.
Shout out to Cheyenne for sure. Shout out Cheyenne.
And she did win the trophy. Took the win over Anita Sterling in the trophy class. So all female final in that one as well.
Nice. Shout out to the ladies in Pro 3.
Yes.
All right, Juniors, 2 more classes. What do you got?
Juniors trophy, Forrest Williams. That's Bryce and Cheyenne's oldest.
Yeah, the whole Williams family getting on podium that weekend. Good for them.
Yep. And second place, Caleb Brood. Got second. Pretty new to the track, so congratulations to Caleb getting a second place. Money class, Brody Smithhart. Back-to-back wins for Brody. Took the money in March and another win in April. He defeated Gavin Owens in that junior final.
Nice.
Shout
so
out
that's
Brody.
a good little points lead for Brody.
Yes. And the final class is Pee Wees.
Woohoo.
First place, Izzy Granger defeated Dalton Thomas in the Pee Wees.
All righty. Well, shout out to those kiddos and juniors and Pee Wees for getting it done. And that was your results from the April 12th points race at Atoka Motorsports Park. And we're to the point of your guys' schedule where you got 2 races this month instead of 1. And your first race is just your usual points race and whatnot. I'm looking at your guys' points here online. Like you said, Brad Civils with a 30-point lead in Pro 1 cars. Randy Kimbley's got a 5-point lead over Roy Cooper and Stephanie Kimbley. in Pro 1 quads, including a 10-point lead over his wife, Christy. And then Pro 2 cars, it looks like a tie for the lead right now with Blake Johnson and Dylan Civils.
Yes, sir.
Pro 2 quads, a tie with Stephanie Smithhart and Roy Cooper.
Yep.
Pro 3 quads, Cheyenne Williams, a 5-point lead over Roy Cooper and a 10-point lead over John Acker. And as I said, Brody Smithhart with a 25-point lead in juniors class. And then the Pee Wees, Tana Sheffield with a 10-point lead so far. So you have points. You got a points race coming up the second weekend of May, which is not too far away, and then May 10th actually, and then after that's the big daddy of them all, Heartland Nationals, and you guys got something cool going on there with some added money. What you guys got going on?
$7,000 added money for top eliminator plus the track payout. What we're hearing, somewhere between 15, possibly 20. I'm going to try to be more realistic and hope for 15. If 20, 22 show up, that's even great and better.
Oh yeah.
If 15 show up, that should be a $10,000 total purse in the class.
Oh, that would be a lot of people would love that.
So the way I have it figured, if there is 15 entries with a 7,000 added money, that would be a $7,000 payout to first place.
Wow.
First place is getting 70% of the pot. Whatever's in the pot, 70%.
There you go.
Second place is getting 30% of the pot. Third place is getting $300. That's what they're getting. And fourth place is getting $200. If there is a third and fourth, they will run off before the final to see who gets third and fourth. They ain't splitting it.
Oh, what if the driver said they want to split?
One of the sponsors wants them to race, so we'll have to take that up with one of the sponsors.
Well, then it sounds like we're racing for third place then. All right. I like that. So we have 15 sponsors, or excuse me, we have 15 top eliminator 295 cars on the property. First place in the top eliminator class is taking home $7,000.
Yes.
Well, you heard it there.
Correct. So yes.
You heard it there, folks, and they're hoping for more. So yeah, this race is going to be big.
Top eliminator. Yep.
What was that? I'm sorry.
If there's more, that's just more money for the pot. So I just kind of ballparked it at 15 to get to the 10,000, and then done my math from there.
Perfect. Well, I will be on site to help bring coverage for World Sand Drag News, and Derek will be on site because the tree ain't going to drop itself during Top Eliminator. He's the guy that does that. He also promotes it. He does a very good job of promoting or not just Top Eliminator, but Atoka Motorsports Park, one of the premier sand drag tracks in the country. And we're excited to be there for Memorial Day weekend for sure. And yeah, Derek, you guys are doing a great job, and we're excited to watch some racing Memorial Day weekend with you guys. So we'll have you back on probably right before that race. And I just want to say thank you again for joining us and getting us ready for Atoka Motorsports Park's biggest race.
Thank you for having us, and thank you for all y'all do. And we've got some things planned from probably starting the 1st of May leading up to the Heartland Nationals to try to get people excited about it. So tune into our Facebook page for sure. We got some giveaways as prizes, and we're trying to get people involved, not just in the sport, but also for our track and things like that. So I try to get them more interested. So stay tuned for that. More details to come. That'll probably be right after our first May race.
All right, we'll be on the lookout for that on their Facebook page. And you guys, like I said, you guys do a great job of promoting it and growing the track, and we can't wait to be there for Memorial Day weekend, Heartland Nationals, and that $7,000 added money, and it's going to be a good time. And once again, Derek, thank you again for joining us, and we will talk to you very soon.
Thank you, sir.
All right, World Sand Drag News. We have some special guests here tonight. We always talk about going to a racetrack, whether it's sand, dirt, or blacktop at a drag strip. And it's always the saying for years has always been, man, you meet some of the best people at a drag strip. And this, who we're getting ready to introduce you guys to, is no different. It's a perfect example. Met this family this year, late last year, I believe it was. And they went to a couple of my events. And man, it's just a perfect example of the family, feeling and whatnot that it is at a drag strip, without a doubt. So, Robert, I'm going to introduce you. We have Robert Holmes here from Hell Horse Racing.
How y'all doing tonight?
Yeah, tell us and about your family and give everybody's names and where you're from.
Well, we're the Holmes family with Hell Horse Racing out of Moyock, North Carolina. We got Carly Joe over here to my left. Just waved at you. Got Carson Wesley over here. We got Emily Joe off to the far left over here. Well, I'm the crew chief, I would say so, the mechanic, and we got our two jockeys sitting up front, and our PR and spokesperson that keeps us all together, sitting all the way on the far left. Yeah, and we gotten into this dirt thing here a while back, and kind of digging it. It's how do you say it?
Kind of stuck on us.
Yeah, the dirt's stuck on us. Yeah. So one of those things that Carson seen a few guys riding Harleys a few years ago when he was about 10 years old. He goes, I want to do that someday in the dirt. All right, I can deal with that. I'm a Harley kind of guy, And a few years ago, Carson saved up his money. He was working and saved up his money and bought an old junk Sportster. And, well, that's what started.
It's kind of evolved since then.
Yeah, so that's kind of where we've been with this. It's something that's it's morphed into itself. You know how racing is.
Yes.
You get the bug, you get bit by the bug, then you got the disease. So now it's turned in all of us. It takes a whole family to do something like this. I commend people that have to try to do it on their own. It's a lot of work, a lot of dedication for anyone doing this. I don't care if it's just beating it around on the weekend or doing it full time. I commend everybody that's in this sport, and we love our race family all over the place we go.
Absolutely. Now, the kids, how old are they?
Well, we got Carly. Oh, go ahead, Carly Joe.
I'm 13, turning 14 next month.
I'm 17, just turned 17 about a month ago, exactly, as a matter of fact. And
all right. Well, happy birthday. And Mom's back there in the background. Mom, nerve-wracking for you, or how are we looking there? What do you think?
No, actually, a lot of people ask me that. They say, because I usually do all the filming, and every race that we go to, I'm usually behind the camera trying to capture it so that when they go back and look at footage, they can see how the bike is performing. And it's hard because I miss a lot of it because I'm behind the camera. But he's been doing it so long. He started off on what were you riding first? An Armachi?
An Armachi.
And when he was like 11, 12, it was a Harley Davidson, and it's basically a dirt bike, and it went mock snail. And so he started racing against adults then, and then they built the Sportster and just kind of amped it up. So he's been doing it for so long that I like to joke because they say that Carson can really ride and he's really great at it. And there's a movie that I like to watch, Secretary, about the racehorse, and they just say, Ronnie, don't fall off. That's what I'm like with Carson. Just don't fall off. But yeah, pretty impressive, but not scared.
Well, I'll tell you something else about Robert, and I'm going to tell you something, man. What I really enjoy about watching you and the family is the way that you make sure these kids are safe.
Yes, sir.
I greatly appreciate that. I know not only myself, but many others, we are trying to get the sport safer. We all know we need to get it safer. But that's one thing about your team that is very impressive. And that is a very good thing. So real quick though, before we definitely don't want to leave this out by any means. I believe Carson and you guys did something here a few weeks ago. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Well, you see, there's a fella who'd been chasing after ratings, and well, he broke a record of ours at first, and well, we had to chase the record. So he kind of been stepping it up, chasing him, and we ended up finally beating the record, and we now set the bar at 4.83 seconds.
No, 4.89.
4.89? Okay.
Yep.
You ran a 4.83,
I
but
did
you
run
didn't get to back it up.
Yeah.
Yep.
But we did run a 4.89 and broke the record, which was previously a 498.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which was Carson's too.
Carson.
Yep.
So he held it at 5. He held it at 5, and then 4.98, and now 4.89.
Yep. Only thing I kind of get now is a mile per hour record.
Nice. So what engine? What's all done to the engine? What CC is it? What all do you guys have? I know it's a V twin, of course, because the class is.
It's American V twin.
Sure.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
It's an American V twin. I'll go ahead and let Carson give his rendition on what we have on the motorcycle. So we'll let him speak on this one tonight.
So
Okay.
we try to keep it as stock as possible, just so that way for a lot reliability reasons, and try to keep it pump gas so that makes it reliable, and something that we can depend on, where we can only kind of just wash the bike and take it to the next race. So we took it and left stock heads on it and stuff like that. Now, of course, they're the best heads you could get for a Sportster, but they're still stock, by golly, stock cams and stock flywheel and all that stuff. But it makes, I want to say, 100 horsepower to the wheel right now, just before we put a whole bunch of more timing in it. So, yeah, we'd say about 100 horsepower in the ballpark as it stands right now. We don't know what else it could do, but we didn't really want to find out.
Well, it's definitely impressive. I love how you leave the starting line. I mean, it's fun to watch you leave the starting line, without a doubt. And that thing comes out and everybody's watching, because the Harley is not something that you see every day on the dirt track. So, or sand. It is very, very cool to see. Now, are you going to be back in a 4-wheeler this year, or are you moving up?
So recently I got a Yamaha Blaster 200 last November, and we started rebuilding it. And then we had some top end problems that we needed to fix, so we just recently rebuilt it a couple weeks ago. We're ready to take it back out. It's really fun.
Good. Because I know you, Dad, you're a busy man. And I had 3 junior dragsters. I had 3 kids running junior dragsters. 2 of them more than the other one, but it runs you ragged for sure.
A lot of late nights, wasn't it, Dave?
Yes, it definitely is. So tell us what the plan is from here. What do you guys have a goal? Like, do you have an ET goal? Obviously, I know you got a mile-an-hour goal you're trying to reach, but and as well as, where's your next race, and what is your home track, by the way?
Okay. Well, who wants to speak on that, Mom?
All right. Our home track is at Greens by Fowler Racing in Disputana, Virginia. That's our home track. It's the closest one to our location. It's about an 1.5-hour drive for us. This year we have plans of traveling to some other tracks. We're not exactly sure what's going to fit into the schedule, but we've been looking at Newtown, Virginia. We've been looking at Lumber River, North Carolina. We've also talked about going over to Shelton's over in Kentucky, trying out some of those other tracks. So just trying to see what fits in the schedule. We've never traveled before. This will be our first year traveling. So last year was our first full season at Greens. So we're excited for this year and see what's going to come up. Our next race is April 26th at Greens. Will be our first race of the season.
Yep.
Okay.
And we'd like to go to that little series, the SPDRS series.
Yeah.
I think we got a nice invite to that. I can't wait to pull that one off and come down there, and hopefully our old garden tractor that Carson rides can do some damage. I don't know.
On pump gas.
Pump gas, a 7-Eleven gas, it's pretty good stuff. I think we'll be all right.
Well, I hope you guys make it down. And again, that Shelton's race for my series, Southern Power Sports, is also, it's the same race is World Sand Drag News and us, in my series together. So hopefully you guys can make it to that one. That'll be a really good one. Plenty of classes for everyone, of course. And so we're waiting on that. But what's this mile-an-hour record, before we forget? What is the mile-an-hour record right now, if you guys know?
Right now,
it's shooting for it.
right now the mile an hour record set at 66 miles an hour for the American V twin. We're tapping right at it. I'm trying to, how that goes. You're looking for a little bit more gearing. You get your 60 foot. So I think once we get this fresh motor, we freshened the motor up this year. We ran it for the past 3 years real hard without no catastrophic failures. But I think once we get this motor, broke in, loose as fast as long as it's tight, kind of thing, and we'd be able to turn it up a little bit more and we can get a little bit more RPM. I think we get our mile an hour we're looking for. I'm hoping to go for roughly probably 68, 70 mile an hour, and 300 feet. I think that's not too bad for a 450 horsepower or 450 foot-pound, 450-pound motorcycle. Good Lord, I can't talk tonight. It's we compete against a lot of bikes that weigh around 125 to 150 pounds plus the rider, and he's coming out weighing 150 pounds on a 450-pound bike. That's a tough dance card. And you're asking a pretty hefty chick to do some ballet. So hopefully we can get that speed up a little bit, and I'll be happy.
Well, and the other thing is, I mean, what you guys have is really, like you said, last year was your first full season.
Yeah.
Who's to say there isn't somebody out there that's got a bike similar like that? And it's like, man, I never even thought about it. Let's throw the paddle on it and let's go have some fun. And we get more. Hell, you never know. Maybe in a year or two, there might be a class just for you guys, which would be fantastic. Because let's face it, Lumber River, Greens, I'm not sure how many bikes Shelton's gets, but Newtown, I think, gets a lot of dirt bikes. So there's tracks pretty close that, might be worth, having a American V twin class or just a Harley class in general,
Yeah.
So that's another thing that's helping grow the sport is guys like you that's got something a little bit different, you know what I mean? And it gets people's attention. And that's what makes the sport so much fun.
Yeah.
And one of the cool things about us is that, there has been a hog gas class and we've run it a couple times, but generally we're the only Harley out there. So we
Every
can't
weekend.
run against ourselves. So we usually compete in the bracket class, and Carson's also very competitive in the 5.0 index class, which is also like a bracket class. So he's competitive in those. And then sometimes when we have another friend that rides a Harley Sportster, when he shows up, we'll race him. But usually we're the only Harley out there.
Yeah. And like you're saying, Dave, you get these people out here and you bring it to the light. Let's get these old Harleys out here. They're around. They're everywhere. Come on. Let's bring back a part of American history. Let's get these back out here. Indians making a good bike. Let's go. Let's have some fun. Let's do this. And
I agree.
It's and I'm sure, like you said, you've traveled this countryside. You see a lot of racing, and for that to come back, I think that would be, I'm sure you'd entertain the idea of a class. Hey,
Absolutely.
Because we would really love to follow the SPDR on a full-time series. It's a great thing. You've done a phenomenal work, and we really appreciate the effort that you put into this. It's beyond any one man can handle, but you do it. And
it's not easy, but I appreciate it. And I believe, I don't remember, didn't Carson win my 5.0 index?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
I thought he did.
Yeah. When you came in last season to Greens, and it was a tough weekend for us. That was tough. We battled against a lot of good guys out there. Carson was jockeying that weekend. I think he spent more time in the air than he did on the ground. But that's okay. That's racing. You was there. It was a good time. We had a great time. The people really support one another when the race families at the tracks. It kind of doesn't matter what you ride or who you are. It's your race family. I think that's the best part of the sportsmanship of it.
Yes.
Somebody needs help, you help them. It don't matter what you are, who you are. Let's do it. And the input. Have you noticed that too? Everybody wants everybody to be competitive so you can race. You don't hold no secrets. You help out. Our hearts go out to our race family at Greens. They've helped us a tremendous amount. the Fowlers, the Dunnigans, Isaiah has helped these two kids here learn how to ride a bike. You know, when it comes to racing, you know, Isaiah can ride anything down that track.
I give to that man there.
And, you know, he, you know, just so many people, countless number, and we wouldn't be as successful as we are without them. Right? And,
That's right. And some people forget that. I'm glad you
Yeah.
mentioned that. Some people forget that kind of stuff. And that's good.
Yeah,
That's
you know,
good.
that's something we all stand behind. We all stand together. You know, real race families stand together, you know, at the track. So
That's it,
yeah,
for
and,
sure.
yeah. Like Mike Foote, I don't know if you remember him racing out there for the series. Man, Mike Foote, that guy,
He's a madman.
he's a madman. He's a madman. He don't talk shit. He just smacks your ass and wiggles his at you. You know, and that's Mike Foote, man. He started his own shop this past year, and just because of his expertise in dirt racing, you know, really brought him into it. And he's helped us out a tremendous amount. Who AJ Boeing, first man we met out there, you know, Carson size, 130, 150 pounds, can ride anything. You know, and he's always, them guys has always stood behind us, you know. That's a good feeling when you go somewhere and feel
welcome.
Yeah, not shunned out.
Well, and if you think about it, I mean, you know, the Fowlers are great guys, great group. And, you know, I can't say enough about them. Unfortunately, we wasn't able to get a race there this year. And, you know, things have changed a little bit, but we'll be back next year as a plan. But, you know, our thing is here, guys that are listening and watching, we're going to try, when someone breaks a record, we are going to do our best to get them on here as soon as we can. So that was the big reason of getting Hell Horse Racing here. Last question I got for you guys.
Yes, sir.
Is, how do they find you guys? Because I know you guys got some stuff, little swag there. So let's go over that real quick.
We'll talk to the social media manager.
Yeah, well, let's hand that over to the public relations over in the corner here.
We are on Facebook. We're also on Instagram, Hell Horse Racing. You can follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Yes, we do have merchandise available. We made some t-shirts. We got some hats coming. We got stickers, sweatshirts. Can't buy that online. You can just message us on Hell Horse Racing and, you know, we'll hook you up.
Good deal. Good deal. Well, guys, I greatly appreciate you coming on. I definitely want to congratulate Carson on the new record. And I know that little thing right there is going to get on that four-wheeler, and she's going to make a bunch of boys really, really mad this year. So you do a good job.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Yep. So, but yeah, guys, greatly appreciate it. And we will talk to you again soon. Hopefully we see you at Shelton's.
Thank you, Dave. We'll talk to you soon. All right. Have a great night. God bless.